Feel to the Real listeners, don't forget to check out the I Care Too Much podcast with our very own Jarrett, the football genius Burgess, a.k.a. Jethro, and his co-host, LT, as they cover a myriad of topics that will have you in deep thought or laughing uncontrollably. You can catch them on Anchor Podcast, Spotify Podcast, or Apple Podcasts.
So, like you were saying, like his game's so smooth.
Oh my gosh.
And one of the things that, in relation to Clay and KD, is that we know that Clay had that injury that he had.
Yeah.
It was a hamstring injury. And that's a pretty severe injury.
It is.
Well.
It's hard to come back.
Clay was able to come off of picks and just shoot.
Right.
Now, those first couple of possessions when Kevin Durant was just pulled up and was shooting the ball, he was good.
Yeah.
But there's no way that you're going to have Kevin Durant on the floor and ask him to be a shell of himself.
And so...
He's going to use his athleticism to drive to the basket. Right. And that's ultimately what did him in. As soon as he started, pushed off.
Yeah, it popped.
You know, and he's a
even
big
though
guy.
It wasn't even the same injury. Like, that's what other people who don't really understand or don't watch sports need to know too.
Right.
That his injury that he came back from was not the same injury he suffered.
Okay, so while that's true, the injury that he suffered, and if we look back to where he was gripping his leg, while that is a calf, let me give you folks a quick lesson in sports
get some
medicine.
Anatomy right now.
All right, so your calcaneal tendon, which people commonly know as your Achilles tendon, leads up into your gastrocnemius, which is your calf muscle.
All right.
So those are the technical
terms.
Those
Dr. Burgess.
Those are the professional terms for
your calf and your
ankle. Your calf and your ankle, or your calf and your Achilles tendon. So what happens is, if you tear, especially on the lower end, if you tear a piece of your calf, you are compromising the tendon that it runs into.
Okay.
So tendons are like very strong bands.
Yes.
Are very strong bands of muscle that connects muscle to bone.
Right.
So once you tear the calf, you compromise the site at where the tendon connects to the bone. So while it's a totally different injury in terms of, in terms of what part of the body it affects, they lead into each other. So they're connected, right? Which is the reason why I wanted to talk about this.
Weakness, maybe?
Weakness. And that has to heal.
Yeah.
Because you could feel better and then still not be healed.
Right.
Just the fact that you haven't been off of it.
I didn't have it down low, but my tendon and my calf muscle.
Yeah. Lord.
Yeah, it was not fun. Breaking up a fight. Yeah, anyway. But yeah.
And that's the thing, it's a non-contact.
Yeah, it was not. I'm just
in the most
holding a child
ways.
in it. Yep.
Yeah, oh man. I don't even like to think about it. Like that's the scariest thing in the world to me.
It was not fun.
Like if I go, like I went to the track, was it yesterday? I went up to the track yesterday. I was running on the field up in Douglas. Shout out to Douglas High School. I was running on the field and I ended up only doing 6 110s because I had just seen what happened to Kevin Durant. And I became I became a hypochondriac. And I started feeling like, my calf feeling a little tight or whatever. And I was like, no, I'm done. And I had planned to do 8. Well, I had planned to do between 8 and 10.
Yeah.
But after I got to the 6th one and I started feeling that tightness right there, I was like, no, I'm done.
I'm good. Yeah.
That scares me to no end.
Yeah.
But the one thing I want to talk about this is that the Golden State Warriors knew better. And it makes me angry because I was placed in a situation like this. Now, I'm ultimately, and I think this is the thing that has to be said for KD, ultimately, it was my responsibility to say, no. I'm not healthy. And the only reason, honestly, I didn't make the decision to play because my head coach at the time he didn't actually say, and this is the thing that happens here. He didn't actually say, you better play.
Yeah.
He said, man, we need you. That type of
Guilt
injury
trip.
right there. Yeah. that type of injury right there, you know, you're not going to do nothing worse to it, which I ended up doing something worse to it. And if people watching me closely while I walk with a bit of a limp. And I've had 4 different procedures on this one knee because of that. And so that's why it makes me upset, because folks will try to challenge your manhood, you know, and they'll do it in the guise of it's in jest.
But they really mean it.
But they really mean it. They're, you know, all good jokes contain true stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and so they're really questioning your manhood for not playing through what they perceive to be an injury that you could play through.
You hear, how tough are you? Are you not tough enough to? Yeah.
And you feel the pressure to play through it.
That's not what happened.
Honestly, my shout out to Coach McKelvin. You know, I talk about Coach McKelvin all the time on here. He was the only reason why I played through that injury. And the irony of it was, he was like, "Man, you don't need to play." Mm-hmm. He was the only one who actually encouraged me, like, nah, you don't need to play. And so the reason why this makes me upset is because you could see that the Golden State brass started using the media to paint that narrative.
This is the Kawhi Leonard story all over again.
All over
with
again.
A different end, because Kawhi was like, I don't care.
Listen.
Whatever.
I ain't on social media.
Yeah.
And if I am, I ain't checking your tweets or your Instagram posts. And it's so, you know, I can understand KD having the level of sensitivity that he has, right? And, you know,
we talked about
it, and I've you know, gone on him for it, but I understand that he just wants his just due. And you start hearing people say that, oh, they can win this championship without you. Yeah. And, oh man, if it's only your calf, you can come back from a calf.
Okay.
And when I saw the president of basketball operations get up on that stage with them crocodile tears,
I'm sorry,
talking about, it's nobody's fault, but if you want me to take the blame, I'll take it. Yes, you take the blame. It is your fault. And I'm sure, I don't know for certain, but you probably was one of the people who put them stories out saying that we don't understand. Mm-hmm. Talking about KD was cleared. I'm anxious to see what doctor cleared KD. No one, I don't even have, I'm not an expert. I only know a little bit about
y'all, there ain't no expert talking that he was just doing. Words that we can't pronounce. But sure.
I only know a little bit about, you know, anatomy and physiology. Mm-hmm. You know, enough of working, you know, I know the muscles and the bones and whatnot. But I'm interested in finding out what doctor said that, oh, he should be fine. You can't do more damage to it. I'm interested in seeing that doctor.
His face, to me, showed a lot. KD's face.
Yeah.
It was almost, to me, it was almost the guilt face.
Yeah.
Like, dang, man, I might have messed up my whole career just trying to be. And I know that what you're saying is probably true, that there was this tremendous amount of pressure being put on him by other people, but he put some pressure on himself too.
Oh, sure.
Because you watching your team go down the drain.
Right.
And you know that every game they've lost would have probably been, you would have scored 2 or 3 times that amount of points, and that would have been a win if you were on the floor. Because they've been losing like 13, 14, 15. And then it's, you know what I mean, the games that they've lost. So that would have been you on the floor scoring 30 points.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, boom, we've overcome that. So, I think a lot of pressure. And his mom, I'm going to keep talking about this, I'm sorry.
Right, yeah.
His mom this morning was like, she knew he wanted to be back out there just because of his great love for playing the game. And it was tearing him up.
Yeah. Not
being able to be out there. But as a organization, just to talk to your point, you, again, this kind of goes back to what we just finished talking about. Is he seen as a human? You know what I mean? Or are you, we need you out there because we're trying to, trying to win this ship again.
And we don't know if you're going to be here next year.
So we don't care. Let's just get what we can out of you and get you on about, you know what I'm saying?
Because if you get hurt, you're going to be gone next year anyway.
So I just I feel like it's some responsibility on the team. Yes, like you said. And for me, my thing is I don't think it's fair for them to put pressure on a player about, unless you've got somebody who has a history of A, being hurt all the time, and B, that person giving off the sense that they really don't want to play, they just want to check.
Right.
When you got that,
right.
Okay, so then we can start talking about that person like, bro, you just, yeah.
Right.
But KD has never been... He gonna play, and you know, I always have been worried about him because he's so wiry. Anyway, like I'm like, jeez, you're so little, like, but yeah, I feel like it's some responsibility, and you know how I feel about the Golden State Warriors, from Steve Kerr on down,
right?
And so I hope he didn't participate in putting pressure on him.
Who's Steve Kerr?
Yeah. I really hope he didn't participate in it. He doesn't come off as that dude to me. Like, he even if they were all saying you need to say something to him, I could see him being like, no.
I'm mad at everybody because I feel like.
So what would they have done if it's KD himself saying, I want to get out here and play? No, I can play. No, I can play.
And then I feel like then the responsibility lies with KD. I think KD, and so one of the things that I guess creates some of the anger in me about the whole situation is that Jalen Rose reported on Friday that KD went through a 3-on-3 workout and he looked awful and it went terribly.
Okay.
So you mean to tell me after that on Friday,
you felt like he was ready.
You're good on Monday?
Yeah.
Somebody who makes decisions has to say, nah, this ain't good.
That's, I guess, my whole point. Like, even if it's the organization saying to him, even if it's KD saying, I'm good, as the organization, if you look at him as a human being, then you're going to say, no, we take your time. Even if we lose, you got to help get us here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And in fairness, the organization has more responsibility because you know him more intimately than the fan does.
Oh, for sure.
So, but the thing is, these organizations, you know, unfortunately, it's about the money.
Yep.
You know,
Almighty dollar.
Like, I can't think of his name at the moment, but the president of basketball operations, he needs to keep KD, and he needs to keep Clay. Yeah, Clay's an unrestricted free agent. Yeah. And so winning another championship helps him. And I can imagine that it's one of those, when you're at that level, it's at all costs.
But see, here's the backfire. It just came into my head. The backfire to this is if you all did pressure him, if this was their doing, then he just hurt himself to the point that he might be never the same again. You think he want to play and stay and play for y'all? Oh, okay. So you ran the risk if you all did this and he got back out there, and even if it was the same injury, you ran the risk of him then being salty with y'all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And be like, oh, no. I don't want to stay somewhere where they don't care about me.
I've seen some people disagree with this take, but this is what I would do. I would opt in for this next year, making $31 million. I would go in rehab with somebody I trust on their dime with somebody I trust. Yeah. And I would stay clear away from that franchise.
So you just rehab the whole year?
And collect my $31 million. Now, the reality is, there's another team out there that will give him a max contract. Yeah. But he won't make as much money as he would make this year because he would be leaving teams again.
But does he? This is a whole nother conversation, and we can have it a different time. Goes back to the whole passion versus the paper.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why.
If you want to play basketball that badly,
right?
You ain't gonna want to sit out no whole year just to get at them.
He got to sit out a whole year anyway.
Why? Oh, because of the injury.
Yeah, because of the injury. Like, and that's my only point about take their money.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna get $31 million next year if you don't sign.
If you not hurt, especially no. You're right.
Because he'd only be able to sign a 4-year deal for like 150 or something like that.
Yeah, that ain't nowhere near 31 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, I mean, it is what it is. But again, back to my point, if they pressured him, I don't want your money. I'm gonna tip on. Buy it.
Yeah.
I don't even want your money. I'm good.
Right.
I'm good.
Nah, and I can completely understand that.
Yeah, I'd be like, nah. Nah, I'm good. It's almost like blood money.
Yeah.
If that's what happened. You know what I mean? So
but it's not 4 years, 150, because that's too much.
It is. That still ain't nowhere near 31.
Nah, 4 years.
150.
150 is like.
It ain't nowhere near 31, is it? Is it?
I think it's like 30.
Look, I'm tired because I'm normally the calculator.
Right.
I'm too tired to talk about it. Too tired to know.
It's like 32.25 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it can't
that's
be
not
that
much.
That's not.
Then.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh yeah, because 120 would have been 40.
Yeah.
Stephanie, help. Okay. Jeez. All right. Cool, man. All right, but yeah. So, either way, prayers up.
Yeah.
Mr. Durant.
Speedy recovery, man.
Just take your time. You know what I'm saying? Like, let your body. I feel like with the advances that they've made in medicine and in science, that it's possible for him, especially with the money he has, to be able to go get top-notch care for his injury and rehab. I feel like he can come back and be KD.
I hope so.
And so that is my prayer.
I really do. And I almost don't even want to speak anything else.
Yeah. Other than him being all the way back.
Him being all the way back 100% KD, because a 100% KD NBA is a much better NBA.
Absolutely. There ain't too many that do it at that level.
Yeah.
That look like that anyway.
But that Achilles injury is like so tricky, and it's one of those things where if you don't get the surgery within the first 48 hours, like
he in New York already.
Oh yeah, because he went to get the MRI.
Yeah.
So they after he's done, they probably gonna run him right into
he already ready. Yeah.
If you don't get that surgery within the first 48 hours, like they almost kind of got to clip your Achilles and put a cadaver,
because it's like damages. Like it's permanent damage or something to the like this. It's dying or something.
When you totally rupture it, it
it's
rolls
hanging,
up your leg because of the tension of it. Like
it's like a rubber band.
It's like and it's like a
oh god,
like a window shade where it like rolls up your leg.
Oh my god, woo, Father.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay, we'll get better.
Speedy recovery.
Yes, sir. Please.
Are you a part of a college football program? Is your program preparing you for what you are purposed to do when football is over? No worries. We have you covered. The Field to the Real Project assists college athletes in discovering purpose off the field. Contact us at fieldtothereal@gmail.com to schedule a meeting with the administrators of your school's football program. Let's work on your future as you go from the field to the real.
Now put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.